So if you ever want to hit level 80 in Pokemon Go, you're going to need 50 Platinum Medals. And these medals range from tasks like win 2,000 legendary raids to mega evolve a Pokemon over 1,000 times. So if you're not level 80 and you do not have these 50 Platinum Medals yet, you want to get on it now. So today I'm going to be breaking down the easiest Platinum Medals to complete in Pokemon Go, my tips and tricks for every Platinum Medal, and which 50 medals you should focus on if you want to hit level 50 in Pokemon Go someday. It is a grind. Let's talk about it. Okay, so to access your Platinum Medals, if you come here to your account and scroll to the bottom, you'll find them here. And the first medals we need to talk about are actually these ones at the bottom, the type medals. There's a total of 18 different types of Pokemon, and every single one has a medal, which will require you to catch 2,500 of that type of Pokemon. If a Pokemon has 2 types, it'll count for 1 point towards each of those types. These are the first medals and the medals you should really be focusing on, and some are going to be easier than others. For example, normal Pokemon are a lot more common than Dragon Pokemon, but the reason you want to work on these medals is because at the bottom it gives you a +4 Dragon catch type bonus, and this is for every type, making it easier to catch that type of Pokemon. So if you struggle to catch a certain type of Pokemon in raids or in the wild or whatever, this will give you a flat out catch multiplier. So highly recommend you break this down and see which ones have you platinumed, which ones you haven't. Well, here's some tips for the ones you might have not. First of all, the first method to straight up complete the Steel Medal is going to be with the Melton Box and the Gimme Ghoul coin bag. If you send a Pokemon to Pokemon Home, which I will link below a video how to do that, you can get a Melton Box, which will spawn a Melton every 90 seconds if you're stationary, 60 if you're moving. And Melton is of course a Steel type, so you can catch yourself up to 60 Meltons every 3 days, since there's a 3-day cooldown timer where you can use them. Yeah, you can actually get between 19 and 74 Meltons every 3 days, which is a lot of points towards that medal. You then have the Gimme Ghoul coin bag, which will require you to pin a gift and then send that postcard all the way to Pokemon Scarlet or Violet. So you will need a Nintendo Switch and Scarlet or Violet. But once you send that, you will get a coin bag, which is a 30-minute incense for Gimme Ghoul, which you can use once a day. And on your 5th day, you get a golden lure as well. Gimme Ghoul is a Steel and Ghost type Pokemon, so you can work on your Rail Staff medal and your Hex Maniac medal. You then have adventure effects like Sunsteel Strike and Moongeist Beam from Dawn and Duskmane Necrozma. These adventure effects can be used for Necrozma candies and Stardust, and will give you a 10-minute incense that will spawn different types of Pokemon. From Sunsteel Strike can spawn Pidgey, Yungoos, Cottony, Helioptile, Tyrunt, Fomantis, Solrock, Alolan Exeggutor, and Rockruff. So a couple dragon Pokemon in there, a couple normals. And then the Moongeist Beam will spawn Gligar, Alolan Rattata, Clefairy, Munna, Amora, Galarian Zigzagoon, Lunala, Alolan Marowak, and Rockruff. So again, a good mix of different types of Pokemon. Moongeist Beam can get you 2 dark types, fairy type, and a ghost type, and an ice type all off of it. So not bad to go after. You then have the special lures, Mossy, Glacial, Magnetic, and Rainy lures. Mossy lures can spawn grass, poison, bug, normal, flying, rock, and dragon type Pokemon. Glacial will spawn ice, psychic, normal, water, ground, flying, grass. Magnetic will spawn electric, rock, steel, bug, psychic Pokemon. Rainy lures will spawn water, bug, poison, electric, and ground type Pokemon. Again, great to use depending on what of these Platinum Medals you are missing. Finally, you of course have different events that are themed. You have events like the Psychic Spectacular events, if you need to go ahead and catch Psychic Pokemon, the Water Festival for Water Pokemon, the Bug Out event for Bug Pokemon, the Valentine's Day event has Fairy Pokemon, Harvest Festival has Grass Pokemon, Halloween event spawns usually Dark and Ghost Pokemon, Holidays spawn the Ice Pokemon, Adventure Week spawns Rock, Steel, and Ground type Pokemon. So really just keep an eye on events, follow here on the channel, and I'll update you when a certain type of Pokemon is spawning in the wild, where you just need to simply catch 2,500 of it. Oh, finally, of course, to mention, there is one community a month, which will spawn a certain type of Pokemon for a 3-hour period. For example, June is usually the Dragon type Community Day, which spawns the Pseudo Legendary. So if you need to work on your Dragon type medal, playing Community Day in June is usually great. You can also, of course, talk about Spotlight Hours, which will spawn one certain type of Pokemon every Tuesday, 6 to 7 p.m. For example, Morlo Spotlight Hours coming up November 11th from 6 to 7 p.m. if you need to catch some grass type Pokemon. Okay, so after you complete all the 18 type medals, what are the next medals you should focus on? And that's probably going to be the Pokedex medals. There are currently 6 Pokedexes you can actually complete in Pokemon Go. You have the Kanto Dex, Johto Dex, Hoenn Dex, Unova Dex, Kalos Dex, and Unidentified Dex. These are the only ones that actually have all those Pokemon released into the game. The other Pokedexes are missing Pokemon. The Unidentified Dex, by the way, is just Melton and Melmetal, but unfortunately they do not have a platinum medal that goes with that Pokedex, but it's a very easy Pokedex to complete. The issue with completing each Pokedex is not only getting the Pokemon and then evolving it, but mainly is going to be the regionals. You have different regionals Pokemon that you can only get in certain regions, so the best way to get these regionals is going to be to number 1 trade, or number 2 play major events. For example, we had eggs for like Relicanth a couple years ago during the Hoenn Tour, where you could get Relicanth anywhere in the world. But of course, these dexes are going to be easy to complete as long as you have people that can give you regionals. If not, these might not be the best platinum medals to focus on, depending on where you live and what access do you have to people who might have these regionals or play Pokemon Go. Now let's next talk about a couple grind medals in Pokemon Go. We first have the most common one, the Collector Medal, catch 50,000 Pokemon. Now, if you complete all those type medals, you might be close to getting this medal. It is a hard one to complete and you do need to play a lot of Pokemon Go, but it'll just be a simple grind. The best way to complete this quicker, I would say, is to buy a auto catcher or something like the Pokemon Go Plus Plus, which can throw Pokeballs at Pokemon in the background while you're at work or whatever, so you're working on this Collector Medal even while you're doing other things. Next up, you have the Scientist Medal, evolve 2,000 Pokemon. Now this medal is actually probably one of the easiest in Pokemon Go because you simply just have to evolve Pokemon, but there's ways to make this easier. First of all, Caterpie, Weedle, Pidgey, Wurmple, Whismur, and Pidove are Pokemon that only cost 12 candies to evolve. So playing any events where these Pokemon are spawning, every single one you catch on a Pineapple Berry is already half the amount of candies you need to evolve it. So every 2 Caterpies you catch on a Pineapple, you can evolve 1. So catching a bunch of those Pokemon and then just evolving them, even if they're bad IVs, just evolve them for the medal. You then have Pokemon like Kadabra, Machoke, Graveler, Alolan Graveler, Haunter, Baldur, Gurgitor, Carablast, Shelmet, Phantom, Punkaboo, and their lower level evolutions, which if you actually receive from a trade are free to evolve into their final stage. Meaning that if there's an event where Abra is spawning everywhere, you catch a bunch of Abras, your friend catches them and trades them over to you, you guys mirror trade those, you can evolve it into Kadabra for 25 candies, but then evolving Kadabra into Alakazam is completely free. Great opportunity because it's only gonna be 12.5 candies technically rounded per evolution you do. So really good. Follow here on the channel, update you when those Pokemon are spawning and when it's a good opportunity to grind candies for them. You then have the Breeder Medal, which got a lot easier to complete because now we have the Daily Adventure Egg, which you can hatch every single day for 1 kilometer and it will count towards the Breeder Medal and it automatically incubates. This again is just a grind medal that you just need to play a lot of Pokemon to complete, but on average, if you hatch 2 eggs a day, it will take you about 3 years to complete. Of course, if you buy incubators or you play certain events like Spotlight Hour, where if you check in at a meetup, you can get a free super incubator and then go ahead and hatch it. Also, if you don't know, when you check in at a community ambassador meetup and you join a party, you get 25% less egg incubator distance, which is amazing if you're working on the Breeder Medal. There's also a couple different events you can go ahead and play, like events like Hatch Days, which come with half or quarter egg hatch distance, and it's a 3-hour event where 2-kilometer eggs are the ones that are hatching a specific egg Pokemon, which is usually a rare baby Pokemon. So great days to hatch a bunch of eggs in a short period of time. This one, of course, is just going to require you to walk a bunch. We have a bunch of different types of eggs in Pokemon Go. You have 2, 5, 7, 10, 12-kilometer eggs. You have special Mateo 7-kilometer eggs. You have special 5 and 10-kilometer Adventure Sync eggs you get at the end of the week, depending how far you walked the week before. But overall, the 2-kilometer eggs is, of course, going to be the quickest way to complete the Breeder Medal. Another grind medal, the Backpacker Medal, visit 50,000 Pokestops, the same as the Collector Medal. Again, having a Go Plus Plus is going to be the best way to do this because a Go Plus Plus or an auto catcher can automatically spin Pokestops for you and replenish your Pokeballs while you're walking around doing your other errands or working or whatever. We then have the Sightseer Medal, spin 2,000 unique Pokestops. If you don't know when a Pokestop has a halo above it, that's going to be a new Pokestop that you've never spun before, and those are the ones you have to spin to work on this medal. The best way to complete this medal is, of course, to go visit and travel a lot. If there's cities near you that you've never been to that are in driving distance, go to those cities and spin a bunch of those new Pokestops is a great way to grind. If your city's big enough, who knows, you might have 2,000 stops that you can spin in there, but usually not. Usually most people spin the same stops. We then have 2 medals here that I haven't completed. The Fisher Medal, catch 1,000 big Magikarps, which requires you to catch a Magikarp over 13.13 kilograms or heavier. On the other spectrum, we have the Youngster Medal, catch 1,000 tiny Rattatas, which requires you to catch 1,000 Rattatas that are smaller than 2.41 kilograms. Now, of course, Rattata 1 is going to be easier because there's 2 versions of Rattata you can catch, the Kanto and the Alolan version. But the best tip for both of these medals is if you do catch Magikarps that are big or Rattatas that are small, put them in a tag and save them. If you receive a Rattata or a Magikarp from trade that is big enough or small enough for these medals, it gets you an extra point. So making a tag with your big Karps and small Rattatas and then finding someone who's done the same, you guys can trade and help each other work on this medal quicker. Also, the Moongeist Beam Adventure Effect does spawn a Alolan Rattata, so if you want to try to work on getting more of those small Rattatas, walking around with Moongeist Beam can help. Also, the Water Festival events and water-themed events usually will spawn Magikarp, a good chance to find the Magikarps. Next up, the Battle Girl Medal. Win 4,000 gym battles, a medal that I honestly have no interest in doing. I'm not a huge gym battler. This medal will take a lot of time. It requires you to beat 4,000 Pokemon in gyms. Obviously, if you are in a big city town center, you can just walk around all day, hopping in gyms, battling, taking them down, claiming the gym, etc., but it's just going to be kind of a grind. Of course, this medal will also be difficult if you are on the team that is usually dominant in your area because you can't battle your own team. So it's just going to be a really big grind. The best way to work on this medal, I would say, is if you get in a routine with a local trainer where they knock you out of the gym, so you get your 50 coins, you let them stay in, and then you knock them out. That will probably slowly grind up the medal since you will naturally be battling every single day to get your Poke coins. But of course, this medal is just simply grinding it out. Another grind medal is the Ace Trainer Medal. Train 1,000 times. This medal requires you to come to the battle menu here at the bottom and do this training 1,000 or 2,000 times against these team leaders. Now, the best way to do this is going to be to battle Candela, the fire type leader in the Great League, with a Shadow Sharpedo with Waterfall. Waterfall will be able to quickly take down Candela the quickest. So if you want to grind this battle, go ahead and get a Shadow Sharpedo and just spam battles against Candela. But again, this is just such a slow grind medal. I don't even know why this is a medal in Pokemon Go, as it's not fun at all. You just kind of need to grind it out. I've done it 237 times. Probably will never complete this, but you know, it is a easy medal to do for rural trainers who might not have access to the other medals. We then have the Pikachu Fan Medal, which actually thinking about it might be the easiest medal in the game. Catch 1,000 Pikachus. Pikachu is a pretty common Pokemon, specifically when the costume Pikachus come out during the Halloween events, holiday events, spring into spring events, anniversary, Go Tour, Go Fest events. That's the best time to do this. And again, I will always mention, not only does the magnetic lure module spawn Pikachu, but also trading counts towards this. So if your friend catches Pikachu and trades them to you, you can run this medal. We obviously have the Battle Legend and the Champion Medal. Win 2,000 raids. Now, one is legendary raids, so this will count as Ultra Beasts, legendary Pokemon, I believe mythical Pokemon like Darkrai on this medal. Then win 2,000 raids will just be regular 1 stars, 3 stars, mega raids as well for the Champion Medal. Now, of course, you can do 1 raid a day for free, so this medal will take you a long time unless you play specific events. For example, raid day events, you get 6 free raid passes in Pokemon Go, a great event to go ahead and play. You also have raid hours every Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m., which will spawn the current tier 5 raid boss, where you can go ahead and obviously do 1 raid, but if you attend a community ambassador meetup for one of these events, you can go ahead and check in and get a free raid pass for 2 raids every Wednesday. So if you're gonna do this medal for free, I would honestly, not gonna lie, it's probably gonna be one of the hardest medals to do. This is one of the medals that you probably gonna have to spend money on, or it's going to take you like 5, 6, 7 years of doing your raid every single day. Also, sometimes we get a seasonal bonus where you get 2 raid passes every single day, which can be a good way to get multiple raids done in a day. But overall, definitely a grind medal for these 2 here. Just use your free raid pass every day, whether it's on a 1-star or a 5-star. Next up, the Berry Master. Feed 15,000 berries into gyms. Now, you can feed 10 unique Pokemon 10 berries every 30 minutes. So every 30 minutes, you can feed 100 berries. So it will take you about 75 hours of feeding berries consistently to get up to 1,500, which might seem like a lot, but this medal can be done pretty easily in 2 weeks. You just need to set a timer to remember yourself to feed berries. Now, of course, you're gonna need a lot of berries to do this, so spinning Pokestops to collect the berries is amazing. Opening gifts, you might have a bunch of berries from when you leveled up all the way to level 70 from the level update, but I always say never go ahead and delete your berries, instead feed them into gyms. If you come in here into this menu here, the Today tab, you scroll down, you can actually see what Pokemon are in gyms. I have none, but you can quickly access any gym through that menu, so you don't have to be near a gym to go ahead and feed berries. A really easy medal to work on. Sticking in the gym theme, you then have defend gyms for 1,500 hours. Now, if you are a rural player, this medal will actually probably be easier to complete because you're not going to get knocked out of gyms as often. If you're a city player, it might be harder because it might be more competitive. You can place 20 Pokemon in different gyms at a given time, which can make it a lot quicker to work on this medal. 15,000 hours is equal to 625 days, but placing 20 Pokemon in 20 different gyms will roughly be about 32 days consistently of 20 Pokemon in gyms, which is not that much. And of course, holding 20 gyms for 32 days straight, pretty tough, but this medal can be done in probably 2 to 3 months if you just find some more gyms that people aren't in as much and you're aggressive on making sure you have 20 Pokemon in gyms at every point. You then have the Pokemon Ranger medal, complete 2,500 field research tasks. This medal is easy, but it might take some time to complete. There are specific events you can play to really help work on this. Community days, which require you to catch 3 of the community day spawn, which are usually spawning everywhere. You have research days, which literally require you to spin Pokestops to get field research tasks, to get encounters with the research day Pokemon. GoFest and Go Tours are amazing as well because every single hour the field research tasks reset, meaning you can get 8 field research tasks from one single Pokestop during an 8-hour event. So those are really, really good. Overall, really, really good to just go ahead and grind out this task. Also, if you spin a Pokestop with an AR mapping task and then without, you can technically get 2 field research tasks from one single Pokestop as long as you don't complete one of the tasks before getting the next one. So if you're a real trainer and you want to get more field research tasks done, spin it with an AR task, delete the AR task, spin the same Pokestop 5 minutes later, and you'll get 2 tasks from one stop. I would really recommend playing community days to complete this. You then have the Idol medal, become best friends with 20 trainers. It takes a minimum of 90 days of interacting with a friend to reach best friends, but you can make this quicker in 2 ways. First of all, sometimes we have events which double friendship increases, making it 2+ day instead of 1. But also, they recently, Pokemon GO announced a new feature, the weekly challenges. They haven't come back since they were bugged when they were first released, but this feature allows you to gain additional friendship levels with the 3 trainers in the group, which I believe is +7 friendship levels. So using the weekly challenges, you can get +7 friendship levels at the end of the week with those 3 trainers. And then of course you get +1 every single day, meaning you get 14 friendship levels per week. So it'll take you about 42 days to go from new to best friends in Pokemon GO. You then have the trade medals, the Gentleman medal, trade 2,500 Pokemon, and the Pilot medal, cover 10 million kilometers across the distance of all Pokemon trades. Now you can do 100 regular trades a day plus 1 special trade unless there's a special event. So for the Gentleman medal, you can complete this in 25 days if you just trade away 100 Pokemon a day. It can be any Pokemon, trade away extra fodder you might have. You just need a friend to trade with. But then if you want to complete the Pilot medal, what you need to do is you need to collect 10 million kilometers across the distance where those 2 Pokemon are being traded. If I trade a Pokemon I caught in my local town for a Pokemon caught in like Paris, that's going to be like 5,000. I don't know the distance between those 2, but 5,000 kilometers. So the best way to do this challenge is to add friends from the furthest area to you. For example, like Australia, I think is like the opposite end of the world of me. So Fleece King sends me a 7-kilometer egg. I hatch that 7-kilometer egg. That Pokemon will technically be caught from in Australia. And if I trade it with a locally caught Pokemon, that will be a lot of kilometers added. And of course, you can do that 100 times a day. So of course, you just need to collect distance caught Pokemon. Now you can do a search thread in here, distance 100 minus. This will show you distancely caught Pokemon. For example, here, like this Eevee is from Vancouver. So it's over 100 kilometers, and you can change the distance here. Like if you want to look at Pokemon caught like more than 10,000 kilometers away, this Corsola was caught in Mumbai, India. So obviously caught more than 10,000 kilometers away. And these are the Pokemon you can go ahead and trade it with locally caught Pokemon to work on that medal. Next up, let's talk about PvP medals. You have the Ultra League Veteran, Master League Veteran, and Great League Veteran. Win 1,000 trainer battles in either the Great, Ultra, or Master League. Of course, you can go ahead and grind these out in the Go Battle League against other trainers. Or if you find a really good friend, you can just go ahead and say, hey, can I farm these wins? You guys can do a friendly match. If your friend uses 10 CP Pokemon, just quickly knock them all out in the Great League and you can grind this medal. That's obviously going to be a huge grind, and this medal will most likely be a lot easier if you just casually do it by doing GBL, playing in the Great League, Ultra League, or Master League. I haven't even completed some of the ones here, like the Ultra League or the Master League ones, because I just don't grind that much. But of course, if I wanted these medals, I could just grind them out versus a friend. Now, snapshots, I always say, are super important because it's going to work on your cameraman medal. Have 400 encounters. You can get 1 snapshot randomly with a Smeargle every single day. What you do is you go into your any Pokemon, you take a picture. If Smeargle doesn't appear, back out, go back in and take a snapshot. So it'll take you 400 days. But during events like Go Tour, Wild Area, Go Fest, Community Days, Pokemon Go will increase the amount of snapshot encounters you can get. For large scale events, it can be up to 3. For Community Days, it's up to 5. So again, taking these snapshots, even though you don't care about the Pokemon encounters, is an amazing way to work on your cameraman medal. We then have some grunt medals. We have the Hero medal, defeat 2,000 Team Go Rocket members. This will be the best to do during the Team Go Rocket takeovers when grunts are spawning everywhere from Pokestops and in balloons. And you get 4 balloon encounters every single day from 12 a.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., and 12 p.m. So you go ahead and battle those balloons that appear above you. Again, just a medal you have to go ahead and grind out. But you can do a strategic way to work on the other medal, which is your WayFarer Medal. Purify 1,000 shadow Pokemon. There's a couple different Pokemon that are super cheap to purify in Pokemon Go. You can simply search here Shadow and Candy Kilometer 1. And these are going to be the Pokemon that cost 1,000 stars to purify. I believe there's some that come through that are 3,000, but it will show you all the 1,000 Stardust Purify Pokemon if you want to go ahead and purify these for cheap. If not, any Pokemon, Shadow Pokemon you get that you're not going to use, that the IVs are bad, you might as well purify them if they're like 1,000 or 3,000 stars to purify. I wouldn't do the 5,000. It feels like a waste, but obviously you can go ahead and work on that medal. We also have the Ultra Hero Medal. Defeat the Team Go Rocket boss, aka Giovanni, 50 times. I do not believe we've been able to complete this medal. We have not gotten enough encounters or Team Go Rocket radars to battle Giovanni 50 times. So you can't complete this medal yet until we've gotten enough rockets. And if you're a new trainer, you probably will never complete this for a long time because you didn't get any of the old raiders. If you're a veteran player, you might be getting close to complete this, but we still impossible to complete that. Now, easily the hardest medal in Pokemon Go is have 200 best buddies, the best buddy medal. To get a Pokemon from a best buddy, you need 300 hearts on it, and you start at 0, and you can earn 13 hearts a day by completing activities, technically 26 if you give it a Poffin or you get it excited, and technically even quicker because there's like bonus hearts you can get. You can get hearts from using the Pokemon Go Plus in sleep mode, and you can swap your buddy 20 times a day. Point is, anybody who's not using a Poffin or getting their buddy excited, it's going to take you 23 days to get a best buddy if you get all the hearts on the Pokemon. Now you can do that 20 times a day for 20 different buddies, aka you can get 20 new best buddies if you swap them and get all their hearts on them every 23 days. Meaning this medal will take you over a year of doing best buddies every single day, 20, swapping them out to go ahead and complete it. It is a grind of a medal. It's probably one of the hardest medals to get in Pokemon Go because you need to get so many different buddies, and best buddies take so long to get. So a medal I would definitely not recommend working on if you want your 50 medals towards the level 80, but a fun medal for anybody who likes collecting buddies. You then have a secret medal, the WayFarer Medal. Earn 1,500 WayFarer agreements. WayFarer is a Niantic website you can sign up for where you can review Pokestop submissions that people give in. If you review 1,500, or specifically you review 1,500 in the majority case, aka you agree with most people who review, which leads to a final decision for that Pokestop, you can go ahead and work on your WayFarer medal where you need to do that 1,500 times. Unless you're big into WayFarer, this is a medal that probably not a lot of people will get. You then have the Triathlete Medal of achieve a 7-day Pokemon catch streak or Pokestop spin streak 100 times. Of course, this will take you 50 weeks to go ahead and complete because you can get, you can get one catch and one spin streak every single week. You just have to be very consistent in your gameplay. Make sure you catch and spin a Pokestop every single day. Then the Rising Star Medal, defeat 150 species of Pokemon in raids. You have to defeat 150 unique raid bosses in Pokemon Go. This can count as mega raids, legendary raids, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, whatever. So when there's a raid boss in rotation that you've never raided before, do a raid. Now I will say there's no way to know what Pokemon you've raided before or not, because you could have caught it in the wild but not raided it. So kind of need to remember in your brain what species of Pokemon you've raided. But I guess if you're a newer trainer, you don't have anything in your Pokedex, that can kind of help you, but still. Overall, just keep an eye here on the channel. If there's ever a raid boss I say that you've never raided before, raid it once. The Rising Star Duo Medal is another Rising Star Medal where you need to win 2,000 raids with a friend. Again, as a free-to-play player, this is going to be the same medal as the win 2,000 raids or legendary raids. I always recommend raiding with friends to work on this medal, but if you're a free-to-play player, this will take you 5, 6, 7 years to go ahead and complete. So this is more of a medal for anybody who spends money on raid passes to do multiple raids a day. But again, play those raid hours, play those raid days, and do them with friends to work on this medal. You then have the Picknicker Medal. Use a lure module to help a trainer catch 2,500 Pokemon. A medal that is possible to complete in a single day. You see, what you need to do is you need to drop a lure and people need to catch the Pokemon that are spawning off of that lure. So if you time this right by dropping lures during community days, during Go Fest, during Wild Area Global, in your local community, when the whole community is meeting up, you have 100 people meeting up. If you drop a lure, people are playing Pokemon Go, they're catching Pokemon off your lure. You can complete this in a single day. I've seen my medal go up 2,500, mainly at an in-person Go Fest, so it's a bit different. But if you're an in-person Go Fest where everyone there is playing Pokemon Go and you're able to drop down one lure, you can complete this medal. This is why you see trainers like Fleece King and other trainers being the first to drop lures, because they want to work on this medal. It's hard to do sometimes because when you play those major events, everybody's competing to get that lure down before the other person. But if you can be quick, It's the best way to do it. And you can complete this medal technically in one day. I would actually argue this is probably the easiest medal to complete as long as you have lures. Speaking of lures, if you don't have any and you're a free-to-play player, winning Pokestop showcases or becoming in the top 3 can get you lures for completely free. The successor medal, Mega Evolve a Pokemon 1,000 times, a medal that people might think is hard, but it's actually not too bad because you can easily farm this medal with 2 Beedrills. You see, when you complete a Mega Raid, you can get Mega Beedrill energy. You also will get 5 Mega Beedrill energy every time you walk 1 kilometer with a Beedrill. And if you spin gyms, there's a random chance you get Mega Beedrill energy. I don't know why, but Mega Beedrill is like the easiest Mega to get. To do this medal, you just want to have 1 Beedrill and then another Beedrill, and then you Mega Evolve them back and forth. Of course, if they're higher level Beedrills, they'll be even cheaper to Mega Evolve. Of course, you might think that's a waste of Mega energy, but to be honest, not a lot of people are going to be Mega Evolving Beedrill anyway. It's not the best attacker really in Pokemon Go. I guess it's decent as a poison type, but overall, set Beedrill as your buddy, find 2 Beedrills, and then Mega Evolve them back and forth, spin a lot of Pokestops, do some Mega Beedrill raids, and then just Mega Evolve it back and forth. Of course, this can be done with any other Mega. You can have like a Mega Beedrill and then like a Mega Charizard and Mega Evolve them back and forth and back and forth. It's a grind medal, but it's actually not too bad to complete. Speaking of Megas, we do have the Mega Evolution Guru medal, Mega Evolve 46 different species of Mega Pokemon. Prior to Legend ZA, we do have every single Mega in Pokemon Go except Mega Mewtwo X and Y, so you actually can complete this medal. There's a couple I'm missing here, but you just need to get the Mega Dex for every single Mega Pokemon. So Mega Evolve each Mega at least once. Of course, if you haven't been playing Pokemon Go a long time, you might not have every single Mega, but you can go ahead and work on this by just keeping an eye on what Megas are coming to Pokemon Go and getting Mega Energy for them through the Mega Raids when they come. Another easy medal is the Tiny Pokemon and the Jumbo Pokemon Collector, where you need to catch 500 extra smalls or extra large. Now, trading and evolving extra smalls and extra large do count towards these medals. Unfortunately, encountering extra small and extra large Pokemon is just completely random, but if you find a big one or a small one, either trade them or just evolve them, and that counts as like 2 or even 3 points towards the medal for each catch you do. Sometimes we do have events as well where they increase the chance of extra smalls and extra large Pokemon appearing in the wild, and certain events like Halloween events where Pumpkaboo is spawning, which is more common to be extra small or extra large, is a really good way to do this. You then have obviously the hardest medal in Pokemon Go, the Friend Finder, refer 50 trainers. If you don't know, somebody who hasn't played Pokemon Go for 90 days or is completely new to the game will have the opportunity to put in a referral code, and you have access to your referral code here at the top under the Friends tab in the invite. This will be your referral code. If you share that referral code with a trainer, you guys can go ahead and get these rewards when the new trainer completes these tasks you can see here. There's things like Charizard in here. I believe there's like a bag on encounter as well. So this medal is a little bit tough to do. You just need to refer 50 trainers, which is hard to find 50 trainers, but if you have a lot of friends who used to play Pokemon Go back in 2016, getting them back into the game might not be bad. You obviously have the Raid Expert Medal. Make the trainer achievement screen 500 times. This one is just going to be by doing a bunch of raids, but we have specific achievements like Final Strike, Charge and Ready, Hardest Hitter, Longest Surviving. I'm not going to lie, I feel like these are RNG. Sometimes I'm the hardest hitter, but I don't get hardest hitter, so I don't really believe if these are accurate at all, and I believe they're just kind of random rewards that are just given out. But if you raid a lot, you will obviously complete this medal. You obviously have the Vivillon medal, where you need to catch all 18 forms of Vivillon. I have a video up here breaking down Vivillon, how to get all the different forms, and I have channels in my Discord where you can go ahead and get encounters or add friends from each of the Vivillon regions. The Expert Navigator needs you to complete 600 routes. This is just going to be a grind medal. If you're working on your Zygarde cells, obviously this medal will be a good one to go ahead and complete, but you can always create routes in your local area. Remember, you can go to the routes tab, create a short route, and then just walk it over and over again. Again, just a simple grind medal. You can do it more efficiently by just setting up a short route, but other than that, it's just going to be a challenge. Coming down to the last couple medals, the Showcase Star Medal, win 100 Pokestop showcases. Depending on the season, there's usually 2 showcases a week in Pokemon Go, and you can enter 3 at a time. The best odds to win a showcase is to go to the rural areas or the less common showcases. If you can find showcases that are kind of out of the way, not drivable, you kind of have to walk to a weird area and drop into those, there's just going to be less competition, and the less competition, the better chance of winning. Of course, also you can save your extra large Pokemon you catch for when it potentially comes to a showcases by putting them in a tag. They might be useful in the future. You then have the community member, check into a community ambassador meetup on 100 different days. Definitely a hard medal to complete, but if you're with a strong community, you can go on Campfire, sort by meetups, and you can find the community ambassador meetups. These are the ones with like the little purple icon. Attend these, check in, you can work on it. Technically, there's like up to like 4 community ambassador hosted events a week. You have max Monday spotlight hour, raid hour, and then like raid days or community days or whatever the weekend event is. So you can complete this medal in like maybe a couple months, really. Or like, sorry, actually it's probably gonna be like 2-ish years. It'd be pretty hard to complete, but just be consistent with it if you want to work on this medal. Probably not the easiest one to do if you need 50 platinum medals. Finally, the life of the party medal, complete 200 party challenges. If you party up with your friends, you can get party challenges, which are usually not too hard to go ahead and complete. So this medal is just going to be a grind. You can also get like a rare Evolution t-shirt from the party challenges if you really grind them out. I always recommend when you're playing any sort of community day, go fest, go tour, whatever event, and you're with your friends, you might as well just party up and work on party challenges. It's just extra free encounters. You can also share items through the party play feature to just get more out of them. Anyway, guys, if you have any tips for the best platinum medals to work on and what platinum medals you're working on, drop them in the comment section below. Watch these other two videos on the screen if you want to get better at Pokemon Go, and follow for more tips, everybody. Peace.